Welcome to another episode of Everybody's Got Something. I'm your host, Seth Hoffman. Today on the show we have singer, songwriter, performer Jer Killinger, and from Santa Ana, Pueblo, artist, musician Orlando Cruz. Let's get into it and have a good time. All right, Jer, it is a privilege and honor. We've known each other for well over 20 years by now.
Oh, yeah.
And now I get to have a chance to find out your story, find out more about you. So for folks who are just getting to know you, can you tell us a little bit about what you do in this world?
I do a little bit of everything musically.
Yes.
I'm a solo artist, songwriter. I play in 3 different bands. So, yeah, music has become my whole life, and I couldn't be happier.
Well, you're a gift to the city of Albuquerque, both as a musician and as just a authentic human being. How did your musical story begin? When you were a kid, was that something you were drawn to?
Yeah, when I was a kid, for sure. I grew up in Ohio, and my grandfather played semi-professionally. And I remember going to see him play at gigs, and I would be like 3 or 4 years old, sitting in the front row looking up at him on a stage, and he would play songs for me, and I remember thinking, even that young, like that's what I want to do.
I like that. And so when did you first pick up a guitar? Was guitar your first instrument?
Yeah, I got a guitar when I was like 5 years old, but at 5,
Sure.
You don't know what you're doing. I didn't start taking it seriously until I was about 12. And then I got my first electric when I was 13, and my grandfather sat me down, taught me a few chords, taught me how to, count rhythms.
What was your grandfather, is he with us?
He's still around.
He's still
yeah,
and what's your grandfather's name?
Frank Killinger.
Frank Killinger. Yeah. God bless you, Frank Killinger, for bringing us this guy. And what type of music did he play?
He mostly did country and western swing, a little bit of bluegrass, a little bit of gospel. And of course, when I started playing, that's what he wanted to teach me. And I picked up some of it, but being a rebellious teenager, it's like, no, I want to play metal. I want to play Slayer. I don't want to play bluegrass.
Yeah. And so did you, were you in a band? Did you do some solo? Were you a singer from the beginning?
I started my first band when I was 15, actually. And I really just wanted to be a guitar player, but we couldn't find a singer. And it turned out I was the one guy in the room that could do both. So I kind of got pushed into it. And it's kind of been that way ever since. Every time I try to be just a guitar player, somehow I always end up doing vocals too.
And so what is it originally that you wanted to just be a guitar player and not a singer?
I've never been one to be like the center of attention.
Okay,
I don't really like being the center of attention. And I feel like that when you're the singer in the band, the focus is always on you.
Right.
And I've never gotten used to it.
Really?
After 30 years now.
Is that right?
Never gotten used to it.
And what's the difference as far as solo musician versus being in a band, as far as what you like better? What do you look forward to more?
I like something about everything I do. What I like about being a solo artist is freedom. Yeah. I can play whatever songs I want. Yeah. I never write a set list. So I show up to a gig at a brewery or wherever, and I have no idea what I'm going to do. It just depends on how the crowd reacts to me, how I'm feeling, how they're feeling. Yeah. And I just kind of wing it every time. And I kind of love that. I love the free-form freedom of it.
Yes, you don't have to worry, have we rehearsed this? Am I going to do it the same way?
Sometimes I'll play a song I've never played before.
Really?
And I might play it that one time and never play it again. But with a band, you have a set list, you have to rehearse and plan out what you're going to do. Total opposite when I play solo.
So tell us a little bit about the projects you are currently working in.
So I've been in Dirty Brown Jug Band. I started that in 2013. So that's been a long run.
That's been a long run. And you got a tribute tattoo?
I do, actually. I have a rule: if I spend 7 years in a band, I can get a tattoo of that band.
Is that right?
It has to last 7 years, though.
Okay.
So I've got a few band tattoos, actually.
Right? Wow.
But Dirty Brown Jug Band was like my main gig, kind of still is.
And how did that start? Because I remember, when I met you, I'm trying to think this was years before that.
I was in Three Hole Punch when you were there.
Three Hole Punch, exactly.
Yeah, that was a
powerful
thrash
band.
punk
like,
kind of metal band. Yeah,
that was a powerful. I remember I was just wide-eyed. I'm like, wow, I never heard music like that.
I was young and angsty, and that was the music I was into. I still am, but now I have to be in the mood for it. We all get older, music taste changed.
Yes.
So jug band started because I was still playing that kind of music in a band called Touched by Strangers. And we played at this place called Hooligans, which is right next door to the Dirty Bourbon.
Okay.
And it was yet another night where you play into the other bands and their girlfriends and no one else. And I went outside to take a break, and I looked over at the Dirty Bourbon, and there was a line to get in. And I was like, man, I might be doing this all wrong. Like, maybe I should try that. And again, growing up in country music in Ohio with my grandfather and stuff, like I kind of had an idea of how to do it. So I just gave it a shot, and here I am.
And how did you gather the other members, or the people you
the
already
bass
knew?
player actually was one of my neighbors. I was friends with his parents, and I was at his house one day, and I saw a bass leaning up against the wall, and I was like, "Whose is that?" Like, "Oh, it's my kid's." It's like, "Does he know how to play it? Does he want me to teach him?" Like, he's been my bass player since I started it. He was 20 years old when we started. We couldn't even play bars until he turned 21. And now he's been with me for 13 years.
And did you have an idea it was going to have the longevity? You know, a lot of times you never know. You're just like, oh, let's try
I never
this,
do. In any project I do, I never think it's going to go anywhere. And I'm always surprised when it does. And the jug band has been probably my most successful project ever.
And what do you think about it that one has brought the success, but also just kept it together? Because a lot of things go well, but things come up. What's kept it going?
I'm stubborn.
Yeah.
I actually quit that band a year ago.
I remember
so,
that, right.
And I felt like I did everything I could do with it. I was frustrated with the scene, and I quit. And then about 6 months later, people were hounding me like, "You're not really done, right? You should do that again." So I reached out to the boys. It's like, I know I walked away, but you guys want to do this again? And now we're back at it.
Wow. And does it feel like it's just sort of a continuation? Is it a new chapter?
We picked up right where we left off, and it's evolved. It, like most things do over the last 13 years, it's evolved. When I started it, I wanted it to be an acoustic project. And then as I was writing songs, you limit yourself when you do stuff like that. So I started writing more on a Telecaster, and then that took us in a whole different direction. And now I'm about 50-50. So.
Okay. And what is it, compared to the other projects, what makes this one distinct for you, or what do you love about it?
It's a lot of me. It's definitely a collaborative effort with the music, but lyrically and songwriting wise, it's very much me.
So it's mostly original?
Yeah, we do play some covers, but we never play them the way they're supposed to be. We'll play like electric bluegrass versions of like 90s grunge songs, turn them into country tunes, stuff like that. I don't think we play any covers straightforward, because if you're going to do covers, you should do them your own way. Nobody wants. If I wanted
otherwise,
to
you listen to the original.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so Dirty Brown
jug band. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a mouthful, I know.
Yeah. And tell us about the next one.
So a few years ago, while I was doing the jug band, I think it was about 2020, my friends were in a band called Ashes of Jupiter, and they parted ways with their singer. And we happened to meet up at an open mic, and the drummer asked me, like, "Hey, would you consider, I know you don't do metal anymore." But
and the drummer, who actually, coincidentally, I don't know if I met him like when I first moved to town,
really?
When he was like probably like 15 or something like that at the Blue Dragon.
Nice.
Yeah. But he's an awesome drummer.
Yeah, they approached me and said, our singer's split with us. We know you don't do metal anymore. Would you consider doing it again? And at the time, I had just turned 40 years old, and I was like, I don't want to do metal. I'm too old for this. But I'll give it a shot, and I've been with them ever since.
And the first day you sat with them, was it something, this feels right, or was it like, I don't know?
Well, at first we got together, we just kind of like felt each other out personality-wise, because when you're in a band, it's not just about the music; it's whether or not you jive with the other people. Right. So our first meeting was just like feeling each other out, seeing if we'd get along. Yeah. And we did. And then the second time, we played a couple songs, and I was very different from their previous singer. So it took an adjustment period for both of us, for me to get back into that kind of music, and for them to get used to me after having a different singer for so long. And like any band, when you change the lead singer, you pretty much change everything. The whole sound changes.
Sure.
In my case, I think Ashes changed for the better, but that's just my opinion. They may tell you something different. But that's been a lot of fun. I get to go back to being an angry kid on stage, and it
keeps you youthful.
It does. It also beats me up somewhat, because I I don't play guitar in that band. I just sing.
So what's that like? Because I mean, that's
it's a
something
whole
about
different
like that
ballgame.
guitar, sort of like a protection, something very vulnerable about just being
At
out
first,
there.
I was very uncomfortable because, like you said, it's something you almost hide behind.
Yeah.
And not having that, you really have to interact with who you're singing in front of.
And was that the first time you'd done something like that? Just
Not the
being
first
singer?
time, but the first time I took it seriously.
Okay.
We'll put it that way. And the first time we played Launchpad, there was 60 people or so in front of me, and I was very nervous. I had
How do you deal with that when you're nervous? What do you do? I mean,
whiskey.
Yeah.
Whiskey helps. But I since the last 5-6 years I've been with them now, my confidence has gotten better. Now I'm running all over the stage. 2 weeks ago we played Launchpad and they had the metal grates up.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did it, but I climbed up and jumped off of it into the crowd.
What?
And you immediately realize how old you are and how your body doesn't do things like that anymore. But it's so much fun when you get in the moment like that and you get locked into the energy in the room.
Oh my gosh.
You just do things.
What a life.
Yeah, sometimes.
Wow. Okay, so that's Ashes to Jupiter. And the third band?
I'm also in Crash Bandits.
Crash Bandits.
Which was, it's like the super group nobody wanted. We're very mediocre. It's two of the members from Gilead Rises and me. They actually asked me to be part of it and help them start it from the ground up, which was a lot of fun because I got to write different kinds of songs. And it's more of like a garage rock, punk, some surf in there, some blues in there. It's a hodgepodge of every kind of music we all like, which is a lot of fun. We're not pigeonholed to one thing. And I play guitar and sing and write songs for them. My drummer, Margarita, she plays a stand-up cocktail kit. She sings 50% of the time, so it's not all on me, which is also very nice and very different for me to have somebody to bounce off of.
And let me ask you, are the songs all specific to the band? Are there some songs you're like, I play with this band, but
no,
this
they're
can
all
work?
specific.
Interesting.
Yeah. There was one song I actually wrote for the jug band that didn't fly. So when we were first starting out, I was like, hey, I got this song I wrote, but it didn't work in that band. Do you want to try it? And we still play it. They kept it. But yeah, everything we write is specific to that band.
And tell me a little about your songwriting process.
I don't really have a process. Sometimes I'll be in the shower or driving or riding my motorcycle or something, and a good line will pop into my head. And
a lyric might be driving.
And I could build an entire song off one good line. Or sometimes I'll be sitting around fiddling around on guitar and come up with a good chord progression and be like, oh, that could make a good song.
Can you tell us about like one of the lines that birthed a song?
So there's a song I do in the Dirty Brown Jug Band called South of Colorado. I took off on my motorcycle for hours and hours. I just rode north, took a bunch of back roads, I'd never been down. I don't have GPS. I keep my phone in my pocket. So I just go. And I like to go get lost. And my wife later asked, where did you go? And I said, I don't know, somewhere south of Colorado. And that stuck. And I turned it into a song about riding motorcycles in New Mexico. And we've been playing that for years. It's actually on our second album.
Yeah. And do you feel that's doing things like that, like these journeys without necessarily a specific destination, does that kind of keep you sane?
Yes, absolutely.
Would you say that's one of the things?
I also, I'm a firm believer that you need to experience things in life to be inspired.
Yeah.
Like sitting around on my couch all day isn't going to inspire me to write another song.
Yeah.
But if I go out on some kind of adventure, maybe I'll get inspired. Most of my songs have been inspired by things I've experienced in life.
Yeah. So you've been a part of at least the Albuquerque music scene for a good long while.
Since 2002.
2002. Yeah. So how has it evolved or changed in your opinion?
I mean, aside from jumping genres over 20-something years now, I've seen the downtown scene change quite a bit. I'd say that's where I've seen the biggest change. Is we used to have venues where young people could go and play original music with no cover and beer specials and whatnot, so people would actually come. And a lot of those venues I used to play back then are gone. There's only a handful of places left for people to play, unless you break into the brewery circuit and stuff like that.
And the brewery, is that more like solo stuff you do?
Mostly solo stuff. I do some of the jug band at certain breweries if there's a big enough stage and can handle the sound level and whatnot. But a lot of it I just play solo.
Yeah. What are something that you love about your life and the music scene, and what are some things that have not as much love?
I love being able to play and being able to just be myself, for better or worse, because that has gotten me in a lot of trouble. But a lot of great things have come from playing music. I've done things that I never thought would have been possible in my life, and it wouldn't have been possible had I not chosen this path to play music and express myself that way.
Or I think of all the people who you connect with that if not for music, you wouldn't necessarily be hanging out with or interacting, but it's
exactly,
like this connector.
I don't really know that there's a downside. I would say if there's a downside, I probably put it on myself. I put pressure on myself to keep going and to book more gigs and to push past my boundaries and try something else. So if there is a downside, it's my own doing.
Okay. And so have you always been the gig booker
kind of. For the jug band and for myself, yes.
And so imagine someone's watching this, they're like, I want to get into this, but I don't know how to do this. Like, what would you advise someone who is, what's like, how do I start?
You just got to try. I shoot out emails to places I've never played and say, like, hey, I see you do music. I saw my friends play there. Would you give me a shot, kind of thing. With two of the bands, with Crash Bandits and Ashes of Jupiter, my bass player, Steve, who's in both bands, he's very well connected in the downtown scene, and that's pretty much where we play. So he helps book a lot. But yeah, just reaching out to people and saying, hi, how you doing? This is what I do. I'm interested in playing your venue. Would you be willing to have me?
Yeah.
I mean, the worst they say is no.
Yeah.
And you just move on to the next thing.
So you had to be comfortable with like, hey, listen, you just don't take anything personally.
Yeah.
Keep going
I mean,
forward.
and that's hard sometimes. When I first started out, I did get rejected a lot, and I did take it kind of personally. But after a while, you grow a thicker skin to it. You're not going to be for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do.
Yeah. And so your solo stuff that you do now, that you didn't used to do that, right?
No,
Like back in the day.
no.
So what was that like, kind of stepping into that world? Because it's quite a different role and experience.
You know what it was? It was the very first time I did it. I used to work at Stella Blue. I was the door guy.
Right.
And one night, somebody didn't show up. And Jamie, the owner, was like, you play, you can sing, right? And I was like, kinda. And he's like, well, I need somebody up on the stage, go get your guitar.
Are you kidding?
And I was terrified. That's how I started doing it, though. But I was terrified. And I remember Javi, the bartender, making me this really strong drink. And
it helped.
I was so nervous, though. And I think I played for like an hour just so that there was some kind of music going on. Sure. And I was so afraid that people would hate it. But afterwards, everybody that hung out there was really nice. People were like, hey, I really liked that. That was very reminiscent of Nirvana Unplugged. I didn't expect that from you, kind of thing. That was the very first time I did it. And then I didn't do it again for years. And it just, the opportunity arose. Somebody tried to book the jug band, actually, but they couldn't afford us. And I was like, well, if you can't afford the band, maybe you could afford me. Like, I'll do it for this price. And it just kind of started rolling that way. And then I enjoyed it so much that I just kept doing it. And I've been doing it for years now. And I'm still just as shocked when I walk off stage and people are like, oh, I really liked that, or I really liked that one song. Or I'm still just as shocked as that first time at Stella Blue.
Wow. So Stella Blue, I didn't realize that was the
very first time I ever did it.
Of it.
Yeah.
And so that's like, so when you're in different bands or playing solo, does like a different side of you come out? I mean, it's all you, of course, but is it, what's that like as far as which Jer comes out in the different ones?
I'm a very eclectic person. I like all kinds of music. I like all kinds of things. And people close to me will tell you I have multiple personalities for sure.
Can you tell us about some of them?
So being able to do the jug band and being this guy, and then being able to do Crash Bandits and being this guy, and then being able to do the solo thing and being a whole nother guy, my favorite, honestly, is Ashes, because I kind of get to be a villain. I kind of get to be a bad guy. I'm kind of a bad guy in all of them, but it really stands out in Ashes of Jupiter because I'm screaming half the time. I'm very aggressive. It's a side of me that I suppress a lot, but when I get on stage with those boys, I get to just let it out. It's kind of therapeutic, actually.
Yeah. Because think how many people in the world are just bottling so much stuff up because it's not socially acceptable to do that. And people probably pay all this money for therapy. You're like, I'm just going to let out
just
my
go
soul
scream in front of people. It's the same thing.
Even that though, but to be able to do that, because some people do that for 5 minutes and their voice would be shot. So did it take a while how did you learn to do that in a sustainable way?
I honestly don't know.
It's just natural.
I never took lessons. Like my grandfather showed me some things on guitar, but mostly I learned all that by myself. No one ever taught me to sing. I just did it. And it's like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The more you figure out, especially with your voice, how your body works and how I can push these notes a certain way. It took me a long time. When I was in 3-Hole Punch, actually, I used to scream from here a lot. and that'll tear up your throat.
Yeah.
And eventually, doing it over years, you learn it comes from down here, and then not so much your throat.
So you just figured out. You're like, all right, this seems to work. I get
you know, going home hoarse every night. It's like, I got to figure this out. This isn't good.
And so being in all those the different bands and doing it, so how does, just from a technical scheduling and all that, how do you fit it all together?
That's always the tricky part, really. The solo thing, all I got to worry about is myself. I show up with my gear, all on me. With bands, yeah, you got to schedule rehearsals. You got to schedule if we're all available for a certain date, if they offer it to us, things like that. So it does complicate it sometimes.
Is it ever like, oh, I've got a gig here, it's like, oh, now I have to turn this down, or because something else is with another band?
It's happened a few times.
It's like 3 of the members can do it. We haven't confirmed this one. It's like you have to sometimes just
and
pick
sometimes,
one
you know, there's 3 or 4 in a weekend back to back. Like I'm screaming Friday night, I'm crooning Saturday. You know, trying to switch gears mentally sometimes can be a challenge. The physical part of it, easy for me. It's getting out of this headspace into this headspace quickly. Is sometimes the hard part.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting? It's like how sometimes the more you do, it's like the more energy you have. Like if you were sitting on the sofa all day, you'd probably be like tired and feel like you can't do it. But I mean, I can imagine the energy it takes to be playing all these shows and different, you know, with gear and just the emotional energy, physical energy.
It takes a toll, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
My favorite part, and my bass player Steve actually brought this point up to me once, and I think it's probably the smartest thing I've ever heard a musician say. Yeah. The reason we do this is if someone's having a bad day or going through anything, and they show up to your gig, and you can take them out of that for even 3 minutes for one song, you took them out of that. That's worth it.
Wow.
Even if it's one person out of 300. That's worth it. That's, to me, that's the biggest difference you can make, is to make someone's day better, to take them out of that headspace for even one song. That makes worth it. That's worth all the energy.
I love it, because I think, because now like so many people understandably are so overwhelmed with what they're seeing on the news, this and that, and feel powerless, but to be powerful in your actual life with actual people is, I think people sometimes forget about the power that we have as individuals to affect other people's lives.
I think that can apply to more than music. Just that's my tool in my toolbox. But whatever it is you do, if you can make someone's day better for 3 minutes, do it.
Beautiful, beautiful. So what do you do when you're not playing music? I know you go on some adventures. I know you love your motorcycle.
I work on motorcycles. I ride motorcycles. I fish a lot. That's probably one of my favorite things to do. And ever since I was a kid, I've been a video game junkie.
Oh yeah.
I will crack out on video games for hours.
Is that right?
That's what takes me out of my head.
What's one of your go-tos now that you?
I mean, Super Mario 3 is the greatest of all time.
Is that right?
But lately, my nephew got me into Fortnite, and that's actually a lot of fun. I like zombie games, survival games, things where you have to make choices and think.
We were about the same age. I know when the first like Nintendo came out, that was a game changer. Yeah.
I had an Atari when I was really young.
Same, yeah.
And suddenly being able to like watch this character move instead of just being stuck on one screen.
How can I do this? And then moving there is a trip. How's that happening?
Yeah, I've been hooked since I was a kid. I'm still hooked.
Wow.
I probably always will be.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite ways to relax, actually.
Yeah. And so, do you ever go? I mean, you must be going out so much for gigs. Do you go out? It must be hard to be like, oh, I have a night off, I'm going to go out. I mean, sometimes if I get a Friday night off, I just want to chill. Right.
But I also like to support my friends. So there's a good group of people, bands I like to support. If I have a night off and they're playing, I like to go out and watch other people play. I mean, sometimes it's nice to be an audience member and not be on stage. And you know, it's good to support each other. There's room enough in this town for us all to do our thing and support each other. There's no reason not to.
Yeah. Tell us just a little bit just about Albuquerque, New Mexico. Just I think it's one of the best places in the world, and I know you've experienced it very intimately. Just tell us a bit about.
It was a culture shock when I first got here. I grew up in the Midwest. I didn't know what to make of this place. And
what brought you out here?
A woman, actually. I followed a woman. Ended up marrying her. Still with her. So
great.
Worked
good
out.
choice.
Yeah, worked out. But yeah, when I first got here, I did not know what to make of this place. And we lived in the student ghetto, was our first apartment, which isn't a great area.
Yeah.
Off of Yale and Columbia, I think it was. Or
Yes.
Cole and Columbia, I think.
Okay.
So it was rough at first, but then, I get used to it. And I'm 50-50. I love this place, but there are things about it I could do without.
Mm-hmm.
I've been here over half my life, and I can't really imagine being anywhere else right now.
Yeah.
But are there things about it I would change? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as far as scenery goes and the weather goes,
Yeah.
most of the people, this place is great.
Yeah.
It's
And
amazing.
I love the music scene. I think it's one of the, as far as like what you're saying about, it seems like people support each other. It doesn't seem like there's a crazy ego clash. It seems like it's a lot of humble people mostly.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
I've met some, the greatest people I've met have all been people I've met through music, either musicians or people I've met at gigs. Some of my fans, if you want to call them that have shown up more than 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
I get to know them.
Yeah.
We end up hanging out when I'm not playing.
Uh-huh.
It's brought me nothing but good things for the most part.
Well, you're an inspiration. You've always been an inspiration, but to top it off, that you recognize the gift of life that you get to live and that you can share with other people is quite a blessing.
It took me a long time to get there, but yeah. I'm there now. So that's what matters. As long as you get there.
Yeah. Well, continue on, my friend, and,
Thanks, Seth.
and look forward to following your story and seeing and hearing you guys, and hope you come back again and give us updates. But
Yeah,
blessings on all you do, and thank you for being the human you are and the musician you are, and all the best to you.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks. Orlando, thank you for blessing us with this song. Can you tell us about what we just experienced?
Okay, so the song is actually in the Caris language. This is the language I speak. I'm from Santa Ana, Pueblo. So I've always traveled. I've traveled here, I've traveled there, I've traveled all over. And the thing with us is we're always looking for medicine. Where do we get these medicines and bring back to our people? And that's basically what the song is talking about, is me traveling, going this way and that way, and going and getting these medicines, bringing them back to my people and sharing these gifts with the people. And that's what that song was about.
And so that was, you created this?
Yeah, I created it. I mean, for me, it's kind of hard because I don't live on the res, and we don't talk the language as much, but as what I've known, it's just been very great, the little bit that I've gotten taught to be able to create and sing these certain types of songs.
And so were you raised as a young child with this language?
No, actually I wasn't. You know, I grew up here in the city in Albuquerque because, well, unfortunately, so the way it goes on the res, if you're a woman and you get married outside, you have to go and be with them or be with their tribe. So my mom had married outside of the tribe.
I see.
So we had, lived here in Albuquerque, and yeah, I would go back from time to time, go back to the res for different ceremonies, feast days, and things of that nature, and grow up in the culture. And I have been a tribal official for my tribe a few times, so that is a very great honor and privilege to do, and look out for the well-being of your people.
And so tell us what do you do in this life? What are the types of art and music, and what fills your heart, what fills your days?
Well, I'm a multimedia artist, so I do a wide range of stuff. I do jewelry, I do ledger art, I do canvases, but I like to go outside of the box and thinking, like, when you see something that's kind of like what you get, that's it. You just get one perspective. So I like to give multi-perspective. So like the piece that's in front right here, this one is a black light activated ledger piece where it charges up with the black light. Oh yeah. If you guys like to see that. And the canvases, I like to use different light sources. People have always told me, maybe you should go check out Meow Wolf and maybe do one of their walls, because my artwork is kind of like, if you go to Meow Wolf and you put the glasses on, you're just like blown away. So I want to, blow people's minds away. And the thing about the music that gets me is, like, I sing at El Pinto restaurant all the time. That's where I work. And, a lot of times you'll see these little innocent kids just coming up and just being in like awe, like wow, because they get it. They're so innocent. They feel that goodness, that energy,
the purity
that
from
I'm
your
projecting
soul.
out there, and that's what it's all about, is having people go home with a good feeling, or feeling good spirits. And that's what I learned when I was up in Standing Rock. What was my purpose? My purpose was to come and sing for all these people.
Wow.
To get their mind off.
Can you
of it
tell
just
us
for a
about your Standing
little
Rock
bit of time.
experience?
So, I went up there with some friends. We were just going to go for 5 days. 5 days turned into 2.5 weeks. And then I came back home because I had business on the reserve. And then 2 days later, I was heading right back up there.
Wow.
Stayed up there for a few more months. Then I had to come back down, take care of some things back home again. Then I went back up again. I went a total, I think, of 4 times up there, and I stayed there for like 6 months total. So it was, something else to actually see the women in the morning, because like where I come from, they are the backbone of our people, the women. And for them to be carrying the water and going and having ceremony and praying for all of us that are there, you know. So I felt like it was my thing to go out and sing for them as they were walking down the way. And I know you probably had seen them walking when they would go, and it was an every morning thing. It was, they did it every morning. Everybody would go to the sacred fire, put their tobacco and send their prayers out, It was a awesome experience and a life-changing thing for me.
Yes, I think for many people.
Yeah.
For many people, what do you think it was about that drew? Because for someone, I remember, I would have never thought, but for so many people, they're like, they just knew they had to be there. There was just something about that time and place. And then, of course, once you're there, the feeling of the community there was
Yeah.
unlike anything I'd experienced.
The water, because it was very important. And if you think about it, North Dakota, that's like way up by Canada, and anything downstream from that was gonna get hit, and it was not gonna be a really good thing.
Yeah.
So it was great when you had all these different supporters, actors, actresses, you know, just come out and show their support.
Yeah.
And, you know, like a lot of people, because they have so much money, they think, you know, some things are not wrong because they have the power to pay people or do whatever it is to get it done their way.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a very hard industry, I guess, the oil industry, because I mean, like, we do use it on a daily, but you know, other people don't think about how damaging it is to Mother
Right. It's
Earth.
like, I understand it's like you need the oil, but come on, this is going right under this major water source. And
exactly.
It's not like there's not a history of these things leaking and this and that.
And there's other ways, there's other methods of, you know, making gas. You know, if they can do it out of corn, we can grow a lot of corn.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many other, you know, so many other different things that we could do to make this world a better place.
Yeah, yeah. So what are some of the other things that you do day to day? So you're creating your art, you create music, and walk us through a typical day of Orlando.
Well, sometimes in the morning I like to go live, you know, sing a couple songs, you know, get people in it makes me feel good, so hopefully I'll make someone else feel good. So on my way to work, I'll do a live and just, you know, sing a few songs. You know, I work at a salsa factory, so I make salsa, so that's always fun. And then not only that, but the different people that I work with too. I'm always learning from all these different people. You know, there's some older gentlemen that work there that are very good at welding and cutting things, and you know, I'm starting to learn how to do those things because, I might want to move up, and you know, they're getting a little older. Maybe they might want to retire, and maybe I can have that position. You know, so trying to secure something in that company.
And so you say that a lot of times you start your day with some singing. Is that something your whole life has been a part of you? Have you been had a close relationship with your voice in that way?
Not really. You know, it wasn't until like I was almost out of high school is when I started to get into singing and this style, powwows and stuff of that nature. And then as I progressed, you know, people were always encouraging me like, wow, you know, you gotta,
because your voice is so enchanting. It just takes
mesmerizing, something about it, and I don't know what it is. And a lot of times I don't even know where a lot of these songs come from. Yeah, it's crazy. It just gets channeled into me or something. Yes. But it's so wild, and I just like to share, and that's what my grandmother always told me. You know, share your music. Yes. You know, it's medicine. Somebody needs to hear it. Yes. People need to hear it.
And I always feel like, you know, God or the Creator, whoever instilled you with this gift, probably didn't give you this gift to keep it inside of you to yourself. Exactly. It's probably given to you for a reason.
Exactly. And when I went to Standing Rock, that's when I was, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, singing for all these people, entertaining them, sending them home with, you know, good feelings. You know, this is what kind of like our culture is all about, and being together, you know, as indigenous people. Yes. And trying not to fight against each other.
Who are you mentioned your grandmother a little. Who are some people in your life that you feel have been some of the biggest influences, supports, role models maybe for you?
So getting into the music and the singing, Jonathan Windy Boy, he is from Montana, and my uncle had married his sister, and they would come down for the Gathering of Nations, which is coming up here pretty soon. And they would stay. And one day they were out there singing, and I was like, what is that? So being intrigued, I went over there to go find out, and then they're all like, oh, sit down. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but they took that little bit of time to say, sit down, we'll teach you. Wow. We'll teach you what's going on. So that's how the music part of it happened. Now, the art part, you know, I have different various artist friends, you know. I would go and film them and stuff and watch them paint and do different things. But one of my friends, he's a graffiti artist. and his name's Saba. And
Saba?
Yeah, and he gave me a spray can. He said, here, go paint something. So I started doing some stuff, really thought it was cool, so I got into it more. Now I started doing a lot of different canvases and messing with the lights and the glasses and all that. So that's kind of like how I got my start into doing art and showing the 3D. I had another friend that kind of shows his art the same way, but he uses a lot of acrylic. I use spray paint and acrylic. Basically whatever I can get my hands on.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's just fun. It's therapeutic. It's I can't really explain it, but there's points where you really feel artistic, and there's days where I'll just like be stuck and just like it's there, but I just don't feel that. So I have to have like a certain feeling or something, and then boom, it kicks in.
And do you have any sort of ritual or things that you do to put yourself in a place to create, or is it just when it happens, it happens?
Well, for me, I kind of feel it, and then I'm all like, okay, I got to go create. So where's the, cedar, where's the sage, whatever,
Yes.
Kind of clean the area a little bit before I start working, because I want to put good intent into everything that I create.
Yes.
And I want to send out good vibes. That's what I am a lot about. A lot of people would say I'm something else, and yeah, because I have this, I am something else.
Something else.
Most definitely.
You're something else.
And just, doing all these different things, traveling and just singing, it's brought a lot of good things my way,
Yes.
like this, for instance, and this, gifts that people have just like, wow, we really enjoy what it is you do.
Yeah.
We want to gift you something for, just doing what you do. You don't charge these people or anything like that. You just come out here and you do it. And that's what I do. Like when I go to El Pinto, I'll set up my art sometimes and I'll just start singing. And people are all like, where's your tip jar? I'm all like, I don't have one. They'll just put money right there. I'm all like, okay, I'll just keep singing and, go on with the day. So have a lot of fun there, and, traveling around and meeting different people.
Yes.
That's the awesome part.
Can you think of a particular travel that comes to mind when you're kind of, thinking back to your experiences, a certain travel that was a memorable or life-changing experience?
I would have to say New York.
Could you tell me a little bit about that journey?
So I met these, I want to say they're like my brothers now, but they came down for gathering, and they were honoring one of their elders from back home.
This was in New York?
No, this was in New Mexico.
Okay, this is in New Mexico.
So this is how it started.
Okay, gotcha.
And I met them there, and after I helped them out sing and do their special, they invited me out. They invited me out to New York. They said, hey, come out for a week or whatever, we'll take care of you and we'll show you around. I didn't know that they already had some stuff planned out there.
Yeah.
So I went out there to New York. And,
So you're just thinking, okay, I'm going to go.
Yeah. And then, we're going to go sing and, check out some lacrosse and different stuff. And as soon as we got there, they're all like, all right, we got a gig booked. I'm all like, what? Where are we going? So we went to go sing for the Shinnecogs in Long Island. And the Iroquois Shinnecogs, they're totally different types of singing style and whatnot. And they put me on the spot. They had me sing some traditional songs from where I'm from. So it was really great. And then at the end, I'm getting ready to leave. They had dressed me up in all the regalia because it was supposed to be a show that we were putting on for these people, and we all had to dress the part. And as I was going to give them back their items, they're like, no, those are yours. I'm like, what? You're kidding me. And they're all like, no, those are for you. You keep those. So like the headdress that they wear, the gostoi is what it's called. Yeah. And it has eagle feathers on it. So Native Americans are the only ones that are allowed to have them. And for them to give something like that, that was like, oh man.
Wow.
I can't even say how appreciative that is, you know, for them, and them to say, you're like family. And in their tribe, they don't do that. They don't give out those types of things. You gotta really put a big impression on somebody to give away something that huge, that large. And yeah, my New York trip, that was something else.
And when was that? How long ago was that?
Gosh, that was probably 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know,
certain things you can't buy. You can only through the blessing of experience.
Yeah, and earning it, and it's all because of just what I did. You know, just that little bit of help, just helping them sing.
Yeah.
And you know,
and just sort of being for you to walk into this unknown. You're like,
yeah.
I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but to just have the faith or courage to say, all right, I'm just going to.
And
see what's gonna happen.
it was just so great and so mind blowing that they're like that. And you know, the Haudenosaunee people, they I guess, well, the Constitution was kind of like based upon a lot of stuff that they did.
Is that right?
Yes, I believe so. Yes, those are some of the stories that they would tell me. And another thing is like the whole lacrosse thing. So like they would have different hunting territories. So they, depending on where you were from, if your team won, then you had the right to go hunt in those territories. So it took away from like killing. So
interesting.
if you want to go and have that area, let's have a game.
Wow.
The winner gets to, you know, hunt in that territory.
How about that?
Stuff like that. Yeah. So it's really good to go around and hear all these different stories from all these different indigenous and how they all intertwine and actually come together. And I could think of a story where I'm from that kind of relates to the same thing. And it's just so mind-blowing. Wow.
Yes. So have you been it's been a big part of your life, both hearing stories and getting to share stories.
Yeah.
Do you have any memories of some early stories that were told to you as a young one? Not that you're not still young, but you know.
Well, not that I could recall like right offhand.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, you not specifically, but just it's a part of you.
There's so many good stories.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we have enough time. That's the thing. But, yeah.
Because nowadays it's almost kind of like a lost art, storytelling. You don't.
Yes.
There's not too many people. It's like, oh, look at the video, look at this, but to actually sit and take someone to a place just through your words.
Yeah, or your song.
Or your song.
So that's why while I'm at El Pinto, you know, people, like once I stop singing, they're asking me all kinds of questions. So it's like, yeah, okay, all right, let's turn this into story time. And start telling them a story, and they're very intrigued. And then before you know, their table is ready, and they go in and go have dinner, you know, and then I'll continue and start singing again.
And is that, have you always felt comfortable just engaging with people, interacting with people? Were you a shy kid, or were you always...
Yeah, at first, yeah. I mean, but like once I got up on stage and, you know, you see all these people cheering for you and just like, whoa, just mind-blowing. You know, it feels great, but the best feeling is when I see these little kids and they come up to you and they're just standing there, or they're dancing around. They feel it. They know what's going on. They, you know, like a lot of us older folks, we're not too in tune with that anymore. You know, we got a lot of stuff we got to worry about nowadays. You know, there's a lot of other things that are on our mind, but we never take that little bit of time to just come back and like be a kid again. Yeah. Just for a little bit. You know?
Yeah. How do you feel? You know, the state of the world we're in. So many. It's, you know, there's a lot of heaviness. What's your I don't know, your vision of what could bring some hope for this world? Because there's so many wonderful things. That's one of the things about this show I love is just there's so many people doing inspiring things, but there's such a focus on a lot of negative things, which are real too. But what I'm always interested in, like what.
I think more awareness on MMIW, you know, and the homeless situation, you know, because where I live right now, it's there's a lot of homeless right around that area, and you know, there's a lot of vacant buildings. I know there has been talk of them turning them into, you know, something for these people, but you know, with homeless people, some of them are just very happy living that life. And
Right.
It's crazy to actually,
Right.
you know, hear them say that. But
Right, like I'm choosing this life.
Because my son actually wanted to be homeless for a while, but now he's home. He's doing great. He's got a job, and you know he's doing good things now. But before it was a very destructive life, you know, and living on the res and poverty. You know, you get into doing stuff that you don't want to do, and it takes you down a rabbit hole. And you know, I'm glad that he's home now and he stays with me, and you know, he's doing good. So I'm very proud of my son, and you know, that he was strong enough to deal with that, because me, I couldn't do that. You know, I couldn't do what he endured, and all the things that had happened with him. You know.
Well, blessings to your son. I'm glad he's back home, and wish the best for him.
Yeah.
Or if you could tell us about this drum, and maybe you're gonna.
Yeah. Okay, so when I was up in Standing Rock, they had people that were doing screen printing, you know. So everybody was, you know, getting shirts, hoodies, whatever, screen printed, and I came across this gentleman's screen print, and I seen it, and I was like, man, I so want that on a drum. So I had this drum with me while I was up in Standing Rock, and he was putting all the ink on there, and I was like, can I have the first one, and will you not do this for anybody else? I want to be the only one. And he said, yeah, sure. So this was the first print, and you can see the colors hadn't mixed all into together anymore. And that's their seal. And I sang quite a few songs in this drum. And ever since I brought it back from Standing Rock, it just pretty much just hangs there. I don't really play it too much, but I felt like today would be a good and fitting day to, you know, do that.
Yes.
Be great.
And what are you feeling that might come out of this today?
Well, as always, you know, it's always some goodness.
Yes.
It can never be bad,
Yeah.
you know, because of the sacredness of this instrument.
Yeah.
You know, so it's hard to put bad on it. It's always going to produce something good, and we like to honor our drums all the time. And I get really choked up sometimes, you know, when you hold these, and because it's very powerful medicine. And this is actually made out of buffalo hide, and it was a gift. It was gifted to me at Indian Market some years ago. And I was always thinking about doing something with it and putting art or something on it. And I went to Standing Rock, and well, there's my art that I got.
Sometimes you could never have planned for something as special as that.
Never.
Yeah. I think sometimes people gift things to people who they know have a power and a gift to continue to create and to spread positivity. So I think people see and feel that in you. So that's why they feel good to gift to you.
And I did a round dance over at the in Santa Fe at the Roundhouse.
Yeah.
And I had people all the way around it. I had borrowed that drum from some lady, and she gave it to me, and she goes, "You can have it.
Wow.
Keep it for as long as you want. If you know someone that could use it, give it to them."
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Oh, okay." I kept it, and I kept it for quite a while. And then I met these Tibetan monks. They came out, and the guy that drums for them was so blown away how I was doing it. So I just decided, well, this is the drum that lady told me to give to somebody and he wanted to buy it. And I was like, no, I'm not going to sell it to you. Yeah. So I gave it to him.
Wow.
And yeah, he was just totally blown away.
Wow.
So and you just meet different interesting people. That's what's so cool about it. And that's what I love about the music and the art. You meet some very interesting people and get their perspective on your art or your style of singing and whatnot.
Yes.
So yeah, it's really great.
Beautiful. So are you,
Oh yeah.
Would you like to take us out?
Finish off with the song because
Yeah.
we like to end on a good note. And I think I will sing a song that they sang for the Buffalo Dance at the Gathering of Nations when they had all the different tribes come together. I was actually part of that, and that's how I met Dan Gardino.
Okay.
That's how I met
He's
him.
a special guy.
Pretty wild, but yeah. To end off the show, since you did go to Standing Rock, this piece is, I like to call it the Standing Rock piece, because back then, if you notice on top, if you were there, Dapple, you've seen them up there, but these are the original inhabitants of that land. So I wanted to present them with this original ledger piece, and it's from 1885, and it's an original, and I appreciate you for going up there and yeah, and for doing all this, doing what you do.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
very honored.
Most definitely appreciate your time.
Yes.
And yeah.
All right, well, Orlando Cruz, I appreciate you. It has been an honor and a gift to know you and to get to talk to you, and I hope to talk many more times, and blessings on all you do and to your family.
Thank you.
Thank you for
appreciate
being here
that.
today.
Appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Everybody's got something that nobody else has got. Everybody, you're the only